This is Carole Bentley, and I'm a science teacher at Allen Central Middle School. I teach science, and one of the things I saw at KSTA a couple years ago was the thing with the Connects. And I was very excited about it when I saw it demonstrated, and I thought, I want to do that with my kids. So when the grant became available, I wrote a grant to get the Connects parts so that we could build these kits in our classroom. And what we did is a lot of learning went behind this, a lot of different skills, a lot of math. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to let the kids that participated in this, I'm going to let them explain to you how everything went in the class. This is Savannah Combs, Zach Jones, and Cade Scott, and we have one that has stomach virus today.
Okay, so the purpose of our 7th grade project was to use science and engineering practices from the Next Generation Science Standards, which we say the NGSS to shorten it, to create a prototype vehicle out of Connects pieces under certain constraints and having to meet certain criteria. This. So what our class did was we divided, I'm going to try to get over here, it's not going to work. We divided into groups of 2, and each was assigned the task along with a rubric of what their car had to meet. So they had to build their car under certain constraints, and like some examples would be the car couldn't be wider than 24.5 centimeters and couldn't exceed their budget of $5,000. And each of the Connects pieces were assigned a certain price that would be reasonable. After we built our cars, they had to be tested and modified, and you had to modify them to try and improve the speed of their car going down a ramp, which there's pictures over here showing us testing the ramps. We made the ramps out of pieces of wood, and then we stacked the books up so they would all be the same, because you gotta have it the same.
Okay, so they're a little bit nervous this morning, but what they had to do, they were given a budget sheet, and on this budget it had what each part would cost. And so they had to take their budget and then look at the prices of each thing and then add up, and they had to go back and modify their cars because a lot of them went over budget. And that was one of the biggest things that they had problems with, because they were yelling all the time, can we not change the budget? Please let us change the budget. No, we didn't change the budget. So there's a lot of things that went really well with this. For example, the math that was taught, we did algebraic equations with it. There was graphing, taught the graphing within this, not just a separate thing. And they had to analyze their data. They had to come up with a conclusion, meeting specific questions had to answer, and it was a lot of fun, because when the kids went out of a class every day, they were talking about it. They were talking about, what are we going to do next? What are we going to do with our car? I think we should do this. And they had to work together as a group, and they had to come to a consensus, because not all the time did they agree on what it should look like or what it should be built like. And there was a variety of cars that were built. But then they had to take that car and they had to see how well it worked. So they collected data with that. Then they had to go back and, like Savannah said, they modified it. They made those modifications. They had to write about their modifications and how that modification improved that car. So overall, it was a great learning experience for them. It was a good learning experience for me. And as they were doing this, I was taking notes on what has to be changed for next year. Of course, this was the first time doing this, but next year I have to change quite a few things in it. But that's what we're all about in teaching every year, getting better and better and changing things. So, any questions? Okay, thank you.